Really squishy.
It is squishy.
¿Cuál es tu nombre? Mucho gusto. Soy John. ¿Cuántos años tienes? ¿7? ¿7 años? Sí. 7 años. I have the zoo. Jacana. Wandering Jacana.
Here's the actor.
What if they have a neck band? Are you no longer wandering?
With that? No, they're just banded.
It's really unbelievable, as I was telling you, how they started really living and making the island. I'm sure that you want to know how did they build the island. Right? But I have to tell you that those people who are living today here, I'm speaking Aymara with them. Our friends and ladies here, not the physiognomy of them, a little bit different. But I have to tell you that they are not probably as the people at the beginning. They were here like in the 1600 years or before that, and they were already mixed. Because when the Spanish they came here, they took many of these families to work into the silver mining, especially around the Andes. But with that, they started having more contact with the Quechua speakers, Aymara speakers, Pujina speakers, and they were already mixed. So it's like a new cross, how we say, mix, as we call mestizos.
Thank you.
They were just like that.
Muchas
So
gracias.
I cannot tell you 100% that they are real. As at the beginning they were Uros, no? Uru, as they call them. So today they speak Aymara as a native language. And as I was telling you, it seems like these natives at the beginning, they came from the rainforest, from the Amazon. So this is just how they. But one of the things that we can really not understand is why they came out from the Amazon to these Andes, because this is the cold weather. This is not the same as the rainforest. Why they started coming out from that sector to here? And one of the theories also says that the Uros, nowadays we get Arawaks community who are living in the rainforest in all the Amazon, Peru, Bolivia, north of Brazil, south of Colombia, even part of Paraguay, for example. We get the famous Arawaks. You know what? DNA of these people, they have some similarities with those group that they are living on. This is amazing. This is why the theory says they are probably aborigines from the Amazon. They came up here and they start living as we see today. No? So as I told you today, 4,500 people around in all this community called Uros. No? It's famous. Let's say he's showing us how do they eat the root of the reeds, for example. That's it. Even the kids, they love that. It's very nice. No ketchup. And the thing is that in these plants, my friends, they got even like iron, some minerals, because portion of that. I mean, the only vegetable they had all their life was that. And even some little algae. No?
Wow.
At the beginning, for example, they were eating all the time this kind of things. Only the white part, not the green ones. No? So that's they call our ice cream. That's just that. Sometimes they say this is our banana. Too, no? Kids, when they go outside, they have to pull up and they start eating. No? Yes, ma'am. The salt. Well, I don't know exactly, but at the beginning I don't know. I didn't get this information, but all the time our local continent side, for example, we had some like a salt mining. It was just a very precious also at that time, and it was just some commercials. Once they start learning to get trading, for example, they get a lot of salt from the continent side, potatoes and barley, cereals, many other things. They were trading with the fish, with the duck meats, eggs, etc. Trading. That's just now with tourism, they go to get to buy, to get the salt and everything. Today is easier, but years ago, I'm sure that it was not easy for them. No? Yes, I think.
What does it taste like?
It's like celery almost, but more water in it. So you cannot taste it because should be some problem maybe with your stomach because you don't used to do it. But our friends, our friends here, they used to do it. No, they have like a, how we say, immunization, right? Immune in it because they were born here. They know kids, they eat all the time, so they don't have problems, right? Lata. Our friend will tell you good morning in Aymara. Do you remember the word? When he will say kamisaraki, the reply is waliki. Waliki. Lata.
Ya. Hilatas, kuyacas, kamisaraki.
Maliki.
Waliki nasti, walish karaktua, nan chutigasti, Edward, presidente akailana, nana kasti uthi asi paraktua, pusi familia, alpachachana guarminaka, uthi asi patunkani, anchit orasanti walik uchi hakat asipta, humanaka akailar hutata manakati, humanakati sinta si parakisma, utamanakan kama yus pagara hilatas, istapistuka de yus pagara.
What he said. Muy bien. He said, I'm a president. Edward is his name, Edward. And he's the president in this island. And he says, I have 4 wives. Is it true? No, he didn't say that. He said, we are 4 families. We have 4 families, 22 persons living, including the kids, the adults, all of them here in this island. And let me tell you, they have 1 president in each island, which is like a leader who is leading all the things, all the decisions they have. Even if they decided to get out this family, they don't want anymore, they cut off a small piece of this island and they push away. That happens, really, that's true, it's not a joke.
Wow.
That happens, no? If this family didn't want to continue living with them, they do that. So, and Uros says, welcome in the name of all the families here in my home, at home in this island, and you will learn our culture here, and I will teach you how to do an island. Says, gracias, Edward. So, Edward, how do you make an island? Una más isla durante
Narakati ungamati ma isla aramtasi uka yatish amam humanakar.
You will learn how to do an island. I'm sure that you have in your heads, how do they make this floating island? And, lako,
Akan suti paha kili aka kileha utkarakiwa halyo pachorasa ichapax kana kama wale halyo porgauke umaptauke ukat aka kilisti gusto pat toptauke suti paha kili suti pasan.
okay, balik. So, our friend is telling you the first material we need to get is this one, which is the root of the reeds. They need to get inside of the reed sectors, especially in the rainy season, because in the rainy season the water push up sometimes, and this comes floating naturally, piece by piece, sometimes larger than this, or sometimes small pieces. They need to get this one inside of the reed sectors in this national reserve. This is like the composition. You see, the reeds are growing up like that, and the roots going down underground. And that becomes very light in years. It's like how we say, sponge, and then comes up on the rainy season. So the basement, the foundation of the island is this material. This is just to have an example.
Akan suti paha kili
The material is kili, as we say. It's very light. Now it's heavy because it's with the water. And
ukataraki nana kasti naira chachilana khoi apirtana wa madara na kan trombona kan pe halkam upana kasti wale apikis na halkam.
sometimes we have to transport all this material. We need to cut off because if we get a big like that inside of the reeds, we cannot bring it out because the problem is that a lot of reeds anywhere. We have to get the small water channels, and these water channels will just size of this. We need to bring this piece. How come look at you, Akar? How many blocks do you have in this base?
Nana kan utkte aka isla root ataka tungka peskan kili alpaj isla root
In the basement of this island, they have 15 blocks. You have an idea. This should be one block, for example. This should be another block. This is another block like that. So they need to bring piece by piece as a puzzle system. They join together once they need to make an island. Lako?
ya ukat ichaka utkarakiwa waina nakatak teknologi akam karthap naira madera
We got a
nakam
new technology, sis.
alkam
So it's easy to cut off with this.
aka madera peka achila nak umapirtan ka alcohol ko kan pirtana pero ukat ichaka nanak waina nakhan ungkap nanak
Our grandparents, they drank a lot of alcohol to give power to them because they needed to cut with the wood and the sticks and things like that. It was hard work, sis. Now we young ones, we get this new technology and it's very easy just to really to cut off with this saw. No? And this is how they bring. How come out of this lata?
nanak akailangan nakakat tungka mara niya pa akailangan
This island is 10 years ago we did, sis. No, because I am asking that how many years, because there sometimes they need to renew, they need to make a new island. No, it's not eternal this island. Then you will understand why. And Lako,
ya ukatti nanakasti akar po agat nanakasart up ka mapes ka sokta kilometro halkwat nanak up ani takata ukataraki altani o kaparaktua nanakasti kawiya nakaltanita tronco nakaraki nanakaka auna nakam choka nakam kam tasni peninsula naksat up
now we have this kind of rope, says our friend. We have to bring, and we put in each block the wooden stakes, and then we tie it together. And then we have to tie in all of them. And then they have to tie together.
chokan tau kap sapakile blau ucan tata ukataraki chokan tau kap
They stay at least 4 months, 5 months floating as this tied already. Why they live 4, 5, 6 months? It's because when they have to tie like this, look at the reeds in the board of this area. Over there even, like you can see, it's growing up. That's coming from the floating basement, no? So what happens? The roots is alive. So if they join together, this is alive, the roots are joining, fixing. naturally inside. The reason why they have to put about 4, 5, 6 months. Once it becomes just one block, one platform floating, they need to go to cut the reefs all around there. And our friend is trying to show you, for example, how they have to do that. Yeah. Lako?
Ukatara kinana kaha, akam biaut aneo ha kini nyampik maya ka kini utia chalawane, karaki agyo wanya pati oras yaut
So,
anya takhai.
our friend says, we need to go outside. Once we have our platform here, we need to go to cut with our little boats. All kids, women, and everybody have to go to cut this. And
Nana kaha hak tap ay marat maya paya kim.
1, 2, 3, we cut them.
Akaha isla tap anya taki.
This is just how we use.
Akarake hilt anya patak.
This rolls up again.
Akat
but the
yaw
other
sa
one-
pelikta, hanil tan haspat upat nanak altitude pa siya.
No, we need to cut off higher. I mean, not in the bottom place because they didn't grow up again. The reason why we need to cut off. Then we have to bring pounds and pounds of this, or just bones of that, the reeds. And then we have to do like layers in it, you know? One week, next week they will put again.
Yakap posisyon na barak iskap hay ang bual ka tapo ustad na
Again and again. So, this, as you can see, will be at least this thick, right? 1 meter, 1 meter, 20 thick like that, like this side over the basement. Then they need to put layers and layers of this, as you can see over there. So, now it's rainy season, my friend. What happens now? It's a lot of water. Even the water comes from this Titicaca lake. And remember, look at that. It's rotting. It's just a decomposition. So that's why once in a month they need to at least put again new layers. New layers. New layers. So what happens if we are adding all the time new layers and new layers? This becomes also growing up. If at the beginning, if it's a new island, this is completely about 2 meters thick, we say as that. And then 40 years passing, 30, 50 years after, will be made a double. So 4, 5 meters thick mountains. Right? Then 60 years after, my friend, this material that starts because rotting and all that going on. So it starts like the decomposition again, and it starts sinking instantly. So this is the moment they need to make a new island. Right? This is the moment they have to make a new island. So this is all the time they need to have a work like this. Right? Lako?
Ukat na nakasti ako patharaki anat abarakwa volleyball football ukat anat ab hooked up tuwalik na nakasti kunata hooked up ha akatuturam te akakilim bitung akandanya patak hal patak na nakas volleyball football anat aparam
So we
munta parak
play.
anat anya ka basket pero hane ang
We play volleyball, we play basket. No, we don't play basket, right? Because the so mini football, no soccer or some sort. Everybody, when they have to be, what do they do when they do that? No jumping. It's just compacting the basement. This is the moment to make a new house, really. So they invite all the families, neighborhood, to come here, and that's just they dance, they eat together, and this is the moment how they have to come back to the basement, right? And then, Lako,
ukat icha auta harakiwa nanakan utakan nakasti yaka mas alto kapa extra utap ko al kontap asik nana
we need to put, look at the house.
Feel the island moving.
Over there, this house is all of them, where they live, where they sleep. It's not at the same level here, it's higher, because they try to avoid this humidity they have over there. This is I was talking about in the boat, the arthritis problem, rheumatism, all that comes because of humidity. And the reason why the locals, they try to avoid that, and they try to keep a little bit higher their houses. But as they are adding all the time this kind of reeds, one moment will be the same level. So they need to lift up a house like that. And they have to put the new layers and again higher. No, this is all the time work. Also, as I told you, one island lasts at least 50, 60 years as maximal, really. Alive, right? And Lako,
Ukati tsaka nana kasi ay utak aptat ma utap nana ka alpach familia wawana ka chachanaka nana kasi ay marat haktas na aptap
Maya,
Maya
Paya, Gemsa,
Krimsa Nairat asa tila nakat utapa ya utilista barakto halipach orasan fight as nya nakataki kusina
our first house was like that. Grandparents' style house was like that, circular shape. No, it was. I remember all the time when I saw Western films, for example, North America. The tribes they had this kind of houses, right? Today, if we go to Africa, some communities they have the same style. Here in this lake, we have the same style. Rainforest tribes still they have the same style. I'm thinking how the human mind can do this kind of system protection for themselves. Lako,
ya
Maya, Baya, Kimsa.
There you go.
Macam kita present in utapa
This is our
diskoteca
president's house. Sometimes we use as disco sets. And
Ukati
Lako,
chahuta harakiba nana kasti ustasi pakosina tak hanak tanya pataki akabambar ucapiri kwati islak may tutor wancho kwati islak mapatung minuto tak ala nakhan khas pa kwat nanak utap hanak tanya patak makala o makile hal ko pathar nana kasti ustasi kosina
this is how we need to cook, says. No, because if we put here, this is oven, we burn and we can burn probably all the island. The thing is why they have to protect like the isolation of the reeds, dry reeds normally. That's they have sometimes preserve the dry reeds like you can see there. They make a fire. Back of you, look at kitchen area, no ashes, and even they have stones. I don't know if you repaired. They have stones. What do they do with stones? They do like ovens, and they burn with all the fire. Once hitting all the stones, they cook fish over there. This is just how they do it still today. But I got one information in 1650s, I think, what was priest Acosta, who says Uros, they didn't cook their food, he says. They were eating completely raw food, at that moment. And it was not easy to control fire, still at that time, probably themselves. This is why just they had to dry. Still they have this dry system. No, dry meat, dry fish. Muéstrales cómo se seca su papel. Muéstrales de ahí nomás. The dry meat, for example, with salt. The dry fish, like that. It's like they call charqui. The same process they did the Andes people with the alpaca meat, llama meat also. They put on salt, and then the sunny days they were dry. And it was probably the same thing they were eating all their lives. Kind of fish that I was talking about, the ispi, it's like sardinas, kind of went. They also dried it with that. That's just again to cook, eggs and everything. So today they control the fire. Lako,
Ukati chahuta harakiwa familia presidente Edward
this is me, the President Edward.
akaraki warmika wawitan pacha la
She's
primera
my wife.
dama makapahit mama
It's my mom, also the wife. Okay, and
kwat hutaw harakiwa nana kasti akawalsita tsart aparaktua chawla katur saranyataki chawla katur sarnyatak totoria wir sarnyataki komaraki wawana school sarnyapataki ukamaraki nana kan ma parekam enamort aintak waleraki nana kan ha akailan kan di parke diskotek uskiti nana ka diskotek siya totor man kana akat panini mante usat kimsa likutan
You know what
ya
this
parak
is?
el taxi romantic
he was telling us that we don't have any discotheques here. We don't have any parks. When we fall in love, you know what we do, says? We have to take our little boats. We invite our girlfriend to see. Well, let's go to see the inside of the reeds over there. We have to take them, and finally, there's something nice happening inside. And sometimes we come back tree. This is the moment we have to get married. So this is just how we call the romantic boat. So this is just why we call taxi romantic. And
Ukat ichahut tau harakiwa.
we still have something
Pumapekaini
new.
utani
Nice
ukata
boat.
nanaka akan sut ay parakto icha nanaka ay marat sut ay pa hachawalsa.
That we call the big
Hachawalsa.
boat.
Ukat icha humana katak sut ay kaparakto el famoso Mercedes del lago Titicaca.
We
Ay
call
humana
it
katak.
Mercedes-Benz
Kasi
boat
anya
for
taki
you.
akaislata ya kailar pasta anya taki humana katak alpas kilo pasar anya man.
We invite you to go to take this boat because it's very nice experience. Sun is coming out. That's nice because we have a good energy. If you want to try, that's an extra, but it's very nice. I mean, ride in this kind of just a rowing boat if you want, right? That should be nice. Okay, Kilagro, and
Ukat icha ka nanaka isla pokatahi. Ukat icha nanaka faltas ka para kito importante no nanaka ka mawals ka malunch kam tuptas ka to.
we are like a boat. Somebody was asking me like that. The boat, I mean, the island is just like this. But then we need to really anchor. We have to put anchors. So the thing is, how can we kill him?
Nanakan at isla ka nakatum ka angkla
We have 10 anchors here.
Han anglan di pirikta ito. Ikiu ka pirikta arumin ka ma Bolivia
We don't
passport
put the
yan.
anchors. Tomorrow we wake up in Bolivia. It should be terrible for us. Well, look at over there, my friends. The sticks over there in the where these you see the reeds. Do you remember that? Those are anchors. That means rope goes through this and to those sections. All the islands they have anchors. Even behind over there in this side sector, I'm sure that they have anchors. So they are fixing the island with one specific area. But they can move if they want to do. Well, he will make another small demonstration. Give us all the money over that. This is just when they go today. It's escopeta they call it. This again is imitation from the Spanish time because this is very old system. We need to fill with the powder, with all the things as that inside, and one shoot only. And then again, we need to put again. So this is just how they have to do. And my friends, this is just how they do this demonstration. We have to go with the little boats. And listen, my friends, he will try to do and calling the birds, the imitation, the voices of the
Primer pacha akam haus tapto.
we do like wings moving somehow.
Mayara ke akam. Patani choka hut kiti.
So
Pat akamara ke maya akam.
we do like shaking water.
Baka orko pa haus tap orko pa.
Is the mean?
Pat anu hut kara kiti. Pat kacu para ke haus tap tang.
We imitate the voices of the surrounding creatures.
Pat anu hut kara kiti. Ukat ha. Wawa paro Wawa pa.
The voice of babies. Chicken.
Parunya sasan ni wawa pa. Ukatan at
It's close, huh?
gut
Careful.
Boom.
God. You never show that. You know what?
Already feathered.
Almost without feathers. You never show that. That's just I'm telling you. Really?
Totora,